A bill that could avert a national rail strike is now in the hands of the Senate.
The House passed legislation yesterday to ratify an agreement that the Biden administration helped to broker back in September. But some unions rejected that deal over paid sick leave. Now President Biden is urging the Senate to act fast. If a deal isn't approved by December 9th, workers can strike. Experts estimate a rail strike could cost the U.S. economy $2 billion per day.
All right, for more, let's bring in CBS News congressional correspondent Scott MacFarlane. Hi there, Scott. So as we just heard Era lay out, pretty high stakes. What are the ins and outs of this bill? How long does it last? What does this mean for rail workers and their demands?
It's a 24% pay increase and some back bonus pay that rail workers would get. But the big issue is sick time, paid sick leave. The U.S. House's plan, the one that passed last night, includes 7 paid sick days. It's just unclear right now whether there are the sufficient votes to get that through the Senate, which leaves us, Errol and Elaine, at this unique moment where everybody here is certain there has to be a deal, that it would be catastrophic to let rail workers strike and a $2 billion a day hit to the economy occur. But there's seemingly no certainty as to how or when they're going to get this thing passed through the U.S. Senate. The deadline is real and it's approaching. December 9th is when some type of agreement has to be reached to avert a railroad strike, a devastating one. But the U.S. Senate has no firm timetable, and the more senators with whom we speak today, the less clear the picture on timing becomes.
And some viewers may be wondering, Scott, why or how it's possible that the administration could take a position where, despite unions saying no thanks to this deal, they're going to push it through Congress anyway and force the deal to be accepted. Can you just explain how this works or is expected to work?
Yeah, let's explain first why Congress has this at all. In 1926, nearly a full century ago, a law was passed to give Congress intervention authority if there's going to be a labor impasse or a walk-off in the railroad industry. They've had that power for nearly a century, and they are exercising it now at the request of President Biden, who sees no other option or off-ramp to this labor impasse and sees a need to end it before a December 9th walkout. Again, the catastrophic economic impacts are known to everybody, no matter your party, no matter your background. The kickback here is from some number of members of Congress, including from both parties, who see concerns with the agreement that Congress is forcing through. First of all, there have been Democrats, including in the U.S. House, who had concerns about what this is doing to labor, that Congress is doing to labor some of the things labor does not want. There are any number of Republicans, including in the U.S. Senate at this pivotal moment, who say Congress is setting quite a precedent here. It's involving itself in a labor dispute and maybe setting a precedent for future interventions or making future interventions necessary. Dangerous stuff, they say, which is why we don't have an agreement, as we are now 1 week and 1 day away from the deadline.
All right, clock is ticking. Scott MacFarlane for us. Scott, thank you.